So let's look at how we can use personification in our story writing. So personification is giving human characteristics to an inanimate object, animal, or abstract idea. So it doesn't even have to be a thing, as in an object. It can even be an idea. You can personify it. You can basically turn it into a person. So here are some examples of personification. As I climbed the stairs, the staircase groaned as if awoken from a long sleep. We know that groan is a human-like action or quality. Only humans can groan, right? So if the staircase is groaning, it means you are personifying the staircase. What do you think might be the effect of this personification here? This instance of personification. What information do we gain from this? What do we know about the stairs or about the house based on how it is personified? When do you usually groan? Sure, at
When
least.
they're tired.
Yeah, you groan when you're tired. So if the staircase is groaning, Andre, what does it tell you about the staircase and about the house in general?
So that would mean, say, maybe it's an old house with creaky stairs.
Precisely, precisely. So we use personification to, give information, provide some imagery in an interesting way. Staircase groans as if the staircase is so old, it's tired, it's worn out, and it gives you that idea that this is a pretty old, maybe even an abandoned, haunted place. Lots of different connotations can come from groan. All right. Seaweed snatched at his legs as he tried to swim away. Where is the personification here? Someone is trying to swim away and seaweed is snatching at his legs. What is being personified and how?
That the seaweed would, yeah, snatch, which would be grabbing his legs.
Good. We know that seaweeds can't really grab someone's legs. No, this one might be a little tricky, but why would personification be used here? Well, what is the purpose? What is the effect? What do you think? Why do you think this might be a more interesting or a more effective sentence than his legs were tangled in seaweeds? Because perhaps that's what actually happened. But we're getting this personification instead. Seaweed snatched at his legs. What feeling or sense does that create in the reader's mind?
You would be scared that something is trying to pull you under.
Exactly. So, by personifying the seaweed, it creates a sense of fear, a sense of danger, a sense of urgency. Because now we get the idea that the character, whoever this person is, he feels as if the environment is an enemy. He feels as if he's in trouble and he needs to get away. And even despite his effort, he's not making progress in terms of getting away. And so, by personifying the environment to kind of attack a character, it increases that sense of danger, that kind of tension. Yeah, much more effective than just saying his legs were caught up in the seaweed or the seaweed tangled up his legs or something like snatched at his legs. It's as if the seaweed itself has become, an enemy, an antagonist. It creates more tension. Yeah, all right. Let's see. We're gonna just continue to identify different instances of personification. So we have five more here, and I'll give you maybe 5 minutes, just a minute each. I want you to write these sentences down as they are here, and I want you to circle whatever it is that is being personified, and then underline the personification of that thing. Underline the characteristic, the human characteristic. I'll do number one so it's clear. The days crept by slowly, sorrowfully. The days, these are being personified. So I'll circle days. And what is the human action? Creeping. So crept by. And then actually this entire part. Because creeping slowly, that's something humans can do. But especially sorrowfully. I can put a double underline here because this is an emotion that humans feel. And of course, if the days are creeping by slowly and sorrowfully, we get the sense that time is moving slowly, and this kind of informs us as to how the characters are feeling. Perhaps they're anxious, perhaps they're bored out of their mind, perhaps they're so worried about something and they just need time to hurry up so they can get a result or something. So this creates a number of senses, right? So let's do this for the others here. All right, that's 5 minutes. Number two, the wind whispered a song to the trees. What's being personified here?
The wind and its whispering a song.
Good. And why do you think this personification was used? What is the effect? What is the idea that is transferred?
That the strong breeze from the wind going through, say, trees and stuff makes it sound like it's singing a song.
All right, yeah. But we do see whispered, so I don't know if the wind is that strong. Is it a strong wind or more of a gentle breeze? Yeah, perhaps it's more on the gentle side, right? Whisper the song. What feeling does that create? Does that create any kind of emotional response? A gentle breeze blowing through the trees. Say you're writing a story and you're building up the setting. What kind of emotional response do you think your reader is going to get if you use a sentence like this? When you imagine the wind whispering a song to the trees, what is the feeling? What is the emotion connected to this kind of imagery?
It give you a eerie feeling that you're being watched.
It could, yeah, it could have an eerie vibe. Like it's so quiet and it's just the wind, and the wind sounds a little ghostly. Or on the other hand, it could be a more blissful, calm emotion, right? Depending on the context of the sentence, it could go either way. All right, number three. What's being personified? How is it being personified?
The waves are being personified and
Nice. That's correct. And what is the effect of this? Imagine waves softly caressing, smoothly touching a person. What is the effect there? What is the emotion being conveyed? Is it a relaxed vibe or is it a tense vibe? Where is it?
it's more of a relaxed vibe.
Yeah, quite relaxed. So imagine if you use language like this, the wind whispering and the waves softly caressing, and you kind of set up this nice, easygoing setting, and then bam, you just throw in some crazy action out in the sea, shark attack and so on. That would be a nice way to create a contrast in the expectation. A nice way to surprise the reader by creating a nice, gentle, calming environment and then just adding chaos into the mix. And writers do that all the time to really like emotionally punch the reader in the face to just surprise them. And that can be interesting. You can do that using personification. The traffic noises argued long into the night until finally the boy fell asleep. What's happening here? What's being personified? And how?
The traffic is being personified. The noises are arguing.
You can imagine you're trying to fall asleep, you're there lying in bed, and it's just horns honking and tires screeching, and it sounds as chaotic and as tense and as discordant as an argument. And so that creates that kind of on edge feeling, the anxious feeling, maybe the frustration, the annoyance. So you can create some emotion with personification like that, right? The cactus, easy one, saluted any visitor brave enough to travel the scorched land. Perhaps this is indicating that this land is so difficult to cross that anyone who comes here, is shown respect by the nature around. It could be taken in different ways, but the idea is you can convey a lot of different emotions, a lot of different ideas through personification. So we can do it through simile, metaphor, personification. Yeah, nice. All right, another challenge. We have two short paragraphs. And let's use the annotation tool here on Zoom. Let's click on the pencil and we're going to do the same thing we did up here. We're going to circle anything that is personified, and then we're going to underline how it is personified. What action is it doing? Yeah. So we'll use circles and underlines. So we'll circle for the thing personified, and then we'll underline for basically the whatever action or human quality. All right, I think this is all you have. This is everything you've got. Let's see. Let's see if I can find some that you guys missed. So we have the wind. As I said, circles the thing being personified. So the wind, that should be circled, danced through the trees, right? Its invisible hands, because wind doesn't have hands, brushing the leaves into a gentle sway. The whispered secrets, nice. Its branches, coaxing them, that's another human quality, to coax, to kind of convince someone to do something a little bit, or persuade, bend and twist in response. The moon is also personified, peeked shyly, shy, so it's barely peeking out from behind a curtain of clouds. Wow, we have a nice little metaphor here, right? Curtain of clouds metaphor. Casting a silver glow over the meadow below. It's like the night is alive, Sarah said, her voice barely a breath. The stars winked at her. The stars, being personified, winking at her. twinkling mischievously. That's another human trait, right? In the velvet sky. I swear the stars are laughing at us, she added with a smile. And since this is her dialogue, we wouldn't say that this is personification because this is just, what she's saying. She added with a smile as if she shared a joke only the heavens could understand. The heavens understanding a joke is personification. So yeah, that's a paragraph packed with personification right there. Hopefully we can use that paragraph to inspire what we might be able to do in this next task. I want to say personification, simile, and metaphor, right? One paragraph. So imagine it's within a story, it's a narrative paragraph, and I want you to include some personification, similes, and metaphors. 10 minutes for the writing exercise, and I want to see not your everyday common, the wind sang or the trees danced or the sun was angry. I want to see some interesting comparisons, right? So 10 minutes, let's tackle this writing task. Narrative paragraph with these three devices, right? Personification, simile, metaphor.
The sun blazed its fury like a rampaging torrent through the land. The green carpet of grass faded into brown as the midday heat rolled in. The old trees groaned under their weight as the warm breeze blew through the air. The land was parched like a cracked pot as the drought prowled through the land.
Oh man, that's it? Ah, that was
Yes,
good. That was nice. I was waiting for it to continue. I wanted some more. I could hear all three devices. The groaning under their weight. I like that one because it's not just the groaning, but the weight. You can feel that sense of heaviness. And if you can connect that to some characters' emotions, that would be good.
Rain decorated the sky, trickling down Anthony's face like ants scrolling down a tree branch. He gripped onto the rudder, navigating the waters, now getting as rough as his palm. The horizon stretched endlessly into the sky like a never-ending, countlessly shifting painting. The wind whistled, morphing into howls. Determination embraced this young man, not intimidated by the challenges ahead of him. Kept steadfast and continued his journey. He choreographed through the boat like dancers on a stage. He released the sail, turned the rudder, and dangled rope. The boat raced across the waters, catching the rain clouds, fighting against the wrath of the wind.
Mm. Oh man, that's it. Wow, that was really really interesting. We could see the characters' own determination and mental battle kind of mirrored in how the environment was kind of taking up arms a little bit. The whistles morphing into howls. So it's almost as if his internal struggle is being reflected onto the environment. So that's interesting. Very interesting. All right, nice job, Chantel. You ready?
Her eyes flickered back and forth like a pen, and the air was thick as the aftermath of a school shoot, sent icicles down her spine, as if the ice queen from Narnia was hovering over her. "Molly, can you hear me?" her friend said, while lifting her head from the ground. Molly heard nothing but deafening silence that was so low she couldn't even hear her own thoughts. Her skin transformed like the season of autumn to winter.
Nice. Pretty good. Sending icicles down her spine is much more interesting than send chills down her spine. And then that transformation from autumn to winter does represent a coldness in the character's mind or heart, right? Because when autumn changes to winter, it gets cold. And when a person freezes up, they've gotten cold. So that's a nice little flip right there. Very good, Chantal. Sante, what do you have for us?
Goosebumps filled my body as the cool 5 a.m. breeze sang. My aunt's house was completely surrounded by trees. The mountains stood like portraits complementing the lush plains. Come, you have to go find sticks in the forest with your cousins. Morning soon light, my aunt stated. We started off on our journey at 5:20 a.m. I was in awe. The forest was a mother to many sons and daughters of all kinds. The bustling of the leaves, combined with the singing of the wind and the utter darkness of the forest, made my body contract, and soon butterflies filled my stomach. After all, it was pretty early.
Wow, that's quite an interesting setting. That setting kind of reminds me of the forest of stories from Anansi. Kind of got that little bit of mystique, forest kind of fantastical realm. All right, these are good. These are some really good portrayals of these three techniques, right? The simile, metaphor, personification, and I'm hearing lots of imagery packed in because when we use these techniques, imagery is gonna come up. Even if we don't try, we're gonna find that we're actually employing some good imagery, especially the visual imagery.